So like most of you, I reduce, I reuse, I recycle. I try to find crafty ways to not have so much junk in the landfill, because really, how much more junk do we need in the landfill? That said, what do you do with the great sweater with a giant hole? What do you do with the old broken crayons? Aha, well that's called upcycling. And we're gonna show you today all sorts of cool ideas you can do with these items on today's Mom Ed Green Living. Hi, I'm Kristen Eichel, and I'm joined today by Leslie Astor, who's a mother, she's a writer. She's got this beautiful blog called Crafting a Beautiful Life. So Leslie, tell me what upcycling actually is.
A lot of us have heard the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle, and reusing is really what upcycling is about. It's taking something and repurposing it, giving it a new life.
So taking the same item, using it in a new way, not breaking it down into something else.
That's right.
So I know you like to upcycle textiles, and you brought some nice examples here. What would you do with something like this, for example?
So this is an old shirt of my husband's, and I just cut a piece of fabric out of it, this size, and this is called PUL. It's a polyurethane coated fabric. It's often used to make cloth diapers and bibs and other things for babies, for moms.
It's leak-proof.
It's waterproof, yep, but it's also breathable. So what I used this for was to make a reusable sandwich bag. I just pinned some of that fabric wrong side in to my shirt fabric. I did a very, very simple straight stitch around 3 sides of it. I turned it inside out and top stitched it. Just an example of a really simple project that doesn't require complicated instructions, and you can make something that is also in and of itself very green and eco-friendly.
So what other textiles can you do besides just shirting, for example?
So besides cotton, another thing that I love to upcycle are wool sweaters, and I like to felt wool sweaters, and that means that I wash them in very hot water, put them in a hot dryer, and they're felted. That means they're
shrink up.
They're shrunk up, and they're really strong fabric. You can cut the edges and they won't fray, and you can make just about anything with them. One of my favorite things to make are soft toys are one of the things that I make. I make these as gifts for friends who have babies. It's really a nice way to give them something meaningful, handmade, and something that's green. I don't need to go out to the store and buy something. I can make something, and that sends a really nice message. You can find lots of patterns online for free to make different soft toys. That's where I got this, from just an online pattern for free. It requires a little bit of sewing, but it can be as complicated or as basic as you want it to be.
So I see you have a very familiar bag in front of you.
Yes, I do. I think most moms are familiar with this site, the bag or box of broken up crayons. And we're gonna show you today how we take crayons and recycle or upcycle them into new crayons. So this is a great craft to do with your kids. It's a great rainy day activity. Kids chip in first by sorting the crayons into different colors, taking the wrappers off the crayons, which kids seem to instinctively want to do anyhow, and then sorting them into dishes. And then to do this project, we need a couple of things. These are silicone molds. They're used for making chocolates, but they're oven proof. So we're gonna take a few crayons. You can do either a single color, or you can mix your colors together and make wacky colors. So I just have a few broken up crayons here, and this is where the adult supervision comes in. I have a large kitchen knife. I'm gonna chop these up into fairly small pieces, about like so, and just putting them into the mold. So you wanna fill up the molds fairly high, err on the side of a little bit more, and you can check them in the oven, and if you need to add more as you go, you can. And you're putting it in an oven at about 350 degrees, and leave them in there for between, say, 5 and 10 minutes.
You want the tray underneath it, I imagine, so you don't get wax all over the bottom of your oven.
Yes, exactly. That's an important thing to remember, to put your silicone molds on a baking sheet, and then pop them in the oven like that, and that's it. We take the tray out, stick it in the refrigerator, let them cool, and then we'll pop them out and
have new crayons.
Have a look, yeah.
I love these ideas. These are super cute. And in fact, I sat with my friend Sophie Uliano from GorgeouslyGreen.com, and she had a cute little idea as well. Here it is. It's time for Gorgeous. I want to make upcycling more gorgeous, so what are we going to do?
Okay, here's how. Save your rubber bands. Okay, so the first thing is a lid opener. It works like a charm. The second thing, this is my favorite, is use it as a drip catcher on honey jars, oil bottles, etc. And then finally, instead of buying plastic clips, use your rubber band for chips and frozen produce.
Keep everything
whatever.
fresh. Keep it neat in the cupboard. Yeah. Love it. while we were watching Sophie, we've melted the crayons. We now have a whole new crayon.
These silicone molds are very pliable. They'll pop right out. And then here you can see some of the finished product. And you can do, again, solid colors. You can do these variegated colors. They're really beautiful. They're more beautiful than they were in their original state. And again, a really fun rainy day thing to do with your children.
I love what you've done here. And you've taken just sort of a little bit of practical application and some ingenuity and made something totally useful and beautiful. And I think that's actually kind of the name of the game, certainly for me. What do you have around in your life that you can re-engineer into something really practical and really beautiful? We've gotten into a total consumer idea of buy something new, be a consumer, and then it's going to end up in the landfill. What do you have in your life that you can re-engineer? And I think that's also a great lesson for your kids. They can become little engineers using their own ingenuity to create something really beautiful, really practical that they can be proud of. And that's how we're going to change the world, one mom at a time. Thank you so much for your inspiration, your ingenuity, and your massive amounts of creativity. I love it. Thank you very much, Leslie. And thank you to all of you for watching. Make sure to post your comments, your questions, your awesome little upcycling ideas. I'd love to hear all about them. And you also want to subscribe to CafeMom Studios on YouTube so that you do not miss a single episode of Mom Ed Green Living. I'm Kristen Eichel. Next time on Mom Ed Green Living. Buying organic actually is important for a lot of different reasons, but sometimes it can seem to be a bit prohibitive because it might be too expensive.
Yes, I have plenty of tips for how to save money when you're at the grocery store and still manage to take home a fair amount of organic.